We want to welcome you to our podcast, HOA SOS. I'm Lee Friedman.
And I'm Wes Wollenweber, and we are with the law firm Pearson, Wollenweber Friedman in Lakewood, Colorado.
We decided to start this podcast in order to deal with the difficult issues facing those in the HOA industry. We deal with helping communities with rough situations. Hence our motto, navigating communities through the rough.
Absolutely. And we came up with that tagline because Lee and I, a couple years ago when we started our firm, we've been working together for a while and realized that we saw what we do as advocates for community associations and some of our management company clients were completely aligned, and that we have very diverse backgrounds. You have a really wild background that comes from real estate, franchise law. I did employment, civil rights work, and we've realized over the years how much that's actually helped our community association clients who have unique issues that span the gamut of difficulty. And we realized that diversity is exactly why we gave ourselves the tagline, navigating communities through the rough. We like to help communities that are in crisis. So with this podcast, we decided, hey, let's start a dialogue called HOA SOS, because there's so many things, fair to say, Lee, going on in the HOA industry that are kind of crisis-oriented, from licensing dying to new legislation coming out. The landscape horizon is ripe with problems coming up.
Absolutely, and Wes and I do not claim to be all-knowing through each of us, but we work together to get the answers along with our staff to help our clients and our communities. And we hope to do that through this podcast as well. Our unique backgrounds, Wes and I come from different ones. I grew up, for the most part, in Colorado. I know Wes did as well.
I'm a native. But
I ended up moving on through the West Coast. I started going to school at CU, where I also ran Ralphie.
I went to CU too, and you're always throwing the Ralphie thing in my face. Although I tell people all the time you were a Ralphie runner. It's pretty cool.
Buffs forever, right?
Buffs forever, bro.
But I ended up going to California, where I started practicing in the HOA industry, and then came back to Colorado, and I have kept practicing and representing homeowners associations since 2000. I know you had a unique introduction.
I never wanted to leave Colorado. I'm a mountain boy. Anybody that hangs out with me is going to find me shredding in the high country on a board or a bike. But I had a federal job that took me out of state, had to leave if I wanted to, stay with this federal agency I was with. I was in labor. I was with the National Labor Relations Board, went to Detroit. I actually had Jimmy Hoffa's son as a professor. He didn't like it when I asked him where his dad really was buried. But that labor background and employment has really helped me over the years add a little something else when we deal with community association issues. So I guess what Lee's really saying is our diverse background actually is what brought us together, and we honestly think sometimes it's the exact solution for communities that come to us with difficult situations. So again, back to why we wanted to do HOA SOS. I mean, there are some tough issues out there, and we want to talk about them. We want to work through them, and we're going to have people on our podcast. We're going to have guests, and we're going to have dialogue about some of these tough issues. Lee and I both have been pretty vocal about things that we see going on in the industry. Licensure died. A lot of new things could come up. You've been a part of that because you were very involved in the Community Association Institute's Legislative National Action Committee, and you've been watching these things develop. So we're going to talk about these tough issues. But what is the goal of HOS? We try to problem solve tough issues, and we're really willing, right, Lee, to talk about those things with people who are interested in the same topics we are.
Absolutely. We want you guys to let us know what topics you want us to tackle and bring us the difficult questions, and we will do our best to work through them and help guide your future work for your clients.
Absolutely. And in an industry that is transparent and is going to get more transparent. I'll just tell you, I'm very transparent about why I want to do this podcast. My big thing, even though I've been a trial lawyer for 20 plus years, I now have a mediation practice too. And I'm candid. I'm a little bit fed up with some of the us versus them mentality that we see in communities. And hey, it's no different than what we see in the nation at large. I personally feel, even though I've been an advocate and have been in a lot of conflicts with litigation, that some of the us versus them could go away through good governance, through communities trying to build and work through problems together. And I got to tell you, one of the things I want to talk about with people, Lee, on this podcast is how did this country start out? We were small colonies. We used civil discourse to work through conflict, work through problems. And we're seeing communities rise up in Colorado, throughout the nation, do that. And I want to talk about that. How can we get people together, work through disputes without it absolutely polarizing a community?
Yeah, we want to continue to educate, but Wes and I both really pride ourselves on education in this industry with the goal of getting the HOA industry to have a better reputation and community associations to run well.
Absolutely. And we're going to debate topics. Lee and I, those who know us, we debate everything. So it's not going to be any different on the show. We're going to open the channels to have other people talk about these topics and see where they go. And the goal is to bring unity to communities through civil discourse.
So please join us for HOA SOS. And if you have any topics you want us to cover or any questions you want us to deal with, please contact us at L. Friedman or W. Wollenweber at pwflegal.com or at 720-400-7123. We look forward to bringing our podcast to you, and
we're going to solve some crises.
So please subscribe and comment below.
Yeah, you can put your comments right in there, things that you would like for us to talk about. You can ask Lee and I questions, and we'll either A, respond to your questions back to you in the way that you request, or B, even better, we'll incorporate your topics into future installments of HOA SOS, because our main goal is we want to have a dialogue with all of you about what you're seeing out there, what are the problems, and how to solve them and build community.